Do you think your Scrum expertise is just for leading sprints? I want you to imagine turning that know-how into your own consulting brand. This isn't a distant dream. It's your next career move. Today, we're not just thinking outside of the box. We're actually stepping out of the box. We're talking about making the leap from direct hire Scrum Master to in-demand independent consultant. If you're ready to be the captain of your own ship, let's chart the waters to consulting success. Are you ready to step outside of the daily stand-ups? Did I say? I am so sorry. I meant to say what? Are you ready to step outside of the daily scrums and the sprint reviews? I want you to imagine transforming your Scrum expertise into a thriving consultancy where your impact and your income aren't limited by the corporate ladder. This episode isn't about going solo. It's about becoming a sought-after authority in the agile world. Let's embark on this journey from Scrum Master to strategic consultant, aka, I like to call it Scrumpreneur. Let's do that together. Hit that intro. Welcome to the Scrum Academy podcast. I am Grand Scrum Master Scott. You're tuning in to the finale of 5 ways to give yourself a 100% raise. This has been the Mastery Millionaires series. Let's do a quick recap. So far, we've identified an area of specialization. We are expanding our agile set. We are improving our negotiating skills, and we are identifying creative passive income streams. Today, in episode 5, leverage your expertise for consulting. We're going to unveil the ins and outs, the pros and cons of branching out into the consulting world. Unlocking a world where your potential is limitless and your expertise sets the bar. If you're prepared to navigate the freelance frontier, this episode would definitely give you a lot to think about. In fact, I'm going to give you a map to success. I have a special gift for each and every one of you. Listen to this episode today that will change your life and help you become legendary faster. For a deeper dive into these strategies, Mastery and Millionaires is your go-to resource. But more on this after our insightful session. Let's begin by defining what is consulting. According to Oxford Dictionary, a consultant is a professional who provides advice or services in an area of specialization. Episode number 1, exactly. Now, in the Scrum and Agile world, a serial Scrum Master, a Scrumpreneur, as I like to call it, a consultant's role transcends the boundaries typically seen in a direct hire position. Unlike an in-house Scrum Master who primarily focus on facilitating Scrum events and some other menial tasks within their organization or their local team, a consultant operates independently or within a consulting firm, or it could be a recruiting agency. Sometimes they use interchangeably, where we're going to offer our expertise contract for hire to multiple organizations, whoever can afford to pay us the rate that we desire. This role involves analyzing, advising, and implementing agile methodologies across different teams and companies to optimize their agile practices. We as consultants oftentimes find ourselves not just guiding teams, but also training them, setting up an entire agile framework, or revamping existing methodologies or frameworks they use and trying to increase effectiveness and efficiency. We work closely with the organization and leaders to strategize on how agile methodologies can be more deeply integrated into the business processes. I like to think of myself as like an agile architect, depending upon the contract, where we design tailored solutions to fit the unique contours of each client's needs. So why in the world would somebody want to be a consultant? I give you 4 reasons as to why I think it's a good thing. It also could be a bad thing. Pros and the cons. First thing I like is flexibility. And this is one of the most appealing aspects of being a consultant is the flexibility that it offers. To a degree, you get to control your own schedule. Well, Scott, what do you mean by that? I have some Scrum Master friends who live on the West Coast, they like to get up early in the morning. So they only apply and work jobs on the East Coast. Okay. Now, for my brothers and sisters, Scrum Masters who live on the East Coast that don't like to get up early in the morning, they only apply for West Coast jobs. They don't want to get up early in the morning. If they do get up in the morning, they have their routine in place where they like to get up and go work out and then go to work. But they don't want to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do that and have to be to work by 9 o'clock. So that's their strategy. So they take a job on the West Coast. A couple of things with that to think about as well. So if you're on the East Coast working in the West Coast, because of the geographic location, could be an opportunity for you to make more money for the same position. Because West Coast cost of living is a little bit higher. But some organizations are changing their pay scale to reflect that. No longer are we going to pay higher salaries for, let's say, Los Angeles, and you work remote. You can be anywhere in the world. So we're going to have a remote price that doesn't matter where you are versus if you live in an LA price, for example. New York City is another city I'm thinking about in the same way. So, for example, you can imagine if you're working in New York City or some major city in the United States or wherever you may live at, the cost of living is going to be higher, which you can expect to make a lot more money there. But those are some of the strategies that they think about as well. So not only do you get to control your own schedule to a degree, you get to choose your own clients if you are your own consultant. But if you're working for a recruiting firm or a top 5 consulting firm, if you're brand new, you're probably not going to be able to pick and choose the project that you work on. But I can imagine if you've been there for a while, a few years, you've done a lot of wild things, that you have some say-so in terms of the projects that you do. But if you're a consulting firm like I am, then I pick and choose the projects I want to be on. Just because I get the offer doesn't mean I'm going to accept it. Yeah, they may meet my money requirements. They may meet my back-end requirements back in the negotiating video. But if it's just something about that environment that just ain't sitting right with me, then I have the option. I just keep looking. Or in many cases, I have several offers on the table and I have to pick and choose which offer I'm going to go with. A lot of things go into that. But the main thing for me is no stress. That's the main thing. You get to decide on the projects that interest you. If I'm a consultant, I know what area in which I want to work in. For example, if I got a choice to be a part of the automotive industry, if I'm working for, let's say, a top 5 consulting firm, I may or may not have a choice as to where I go. But if I'm a consulting firm, I say, okay, I got an option to go work for an OEM or go work at Tesla. That's a no-brainer for me. I'm going to go work at Tesla because I'm looking at, I'm probably going to be doing more wild things. The technology is going to be a whole lot better, and I'm probably going to make the same, if not more money. So I'm looking at the whole package in terms of not only am I going to work there, I'm sure I'm going to be exposed to a lot of different things that I could use for my next contract or for my next organization that I go into. Or I can take those experiences that I learned from being in that particular environment, transfer those skills in another domain. So some things to think about there. A lot of flexibility. For many, this flexibility allows for a better balance between professional and personal life than the traditional 9-to-5 roles. The second thing I'm thinking about is the most obvious, that you're going to make more money as a consultant, contractor versus a full-time direct hire. In a lot of cases, it's significantly more. I'm thinking about the direct hire person that may be listening to this video says, well, I got benefits. Well, I got benefits too. Here in the United States, if you're a consultant on your own or working for some other firm, be it a recruiting firm or a consulting firm, they still have to provide you insurances. They may not pay for it, but they still got to offer you that, like the 401k, like your medical, dental, whatever you like and have. They still got to offer that to you. What I and several of my friends have found is that even the packages they offer in a consulting firm, if I'm going to like a recruiting firm, tend to get better rates if I go directly to, let's say, Blue Cross Blue Shield, if you're here in the United States. A lot of my friends do the Obamacare platform, if it's still called that. They go to the healthcare portal and they find some inexpensive. I don't think any insurance is cheap, so we'll call it inexpensive packages based upon their needs and what they're looking for. I've never gone on that platform. If y'all been on the platform, let me know if it's gotten any better over the years. I just want to call. Look, this is what I need. What is your rate? If I'm okay with your rate, cool. Let's make it happen. So you have the potential for higher earnings. Consulting is very, very lucrative because we are providing a specialized expertise to help them solve their problem. You can command higher fees than what might be possible if you was in a salaried position. Furthermore, as you grow in your reputation and broaden your client base, your potential for earning grows exponentially. And here's another thing I like too. Remember back in episode 1, specialize. If I'm contracted to come in and be a Scrum Master, the contracting party I'm working for could ask me to be a product owner or a developer or any combination thereof. But based upon the guidelines of my contract, I can very easily say no, because that's out of the scope of my contract and what I was hired for. Now, conversely, if you're a direct hire person, at least here in the United States, I know we have that clause in our application and other things as needed or requested. Yeah. So in other words, when you salary here in the United States, they can ask you to do anything, and good luck with you telling them no. Good luck with that. And get a good evaluation and still have your job, perhaps. So some things to think about there as well. Those are a couple of pros and cons there, giving you a different perspective of a pro and a con. You have a broader impact. As a consultant, your influence extends across various organizations, various teams for many organizations. It could be all over the world, depending upon the contracts that you land. This broader impact can be incredibly satisfying as you see your work positively affecting people from all walks of life in different domains, from service industries to distribution to manufacturing to healthcare. Whatever the industry may be, you just have the flexibility to go in these different domains and just impact that at a broader scale. It's like planting seeds in multiple gardens and watching them bloom into like this thriving ecosystem called Agile. It's a beautiful thing. And then the fourth thing I want to identify with you today is you have a variety of work. As I forestated in some of the other points I've made, it could be at a top 5 financial firm, working there this week or for this contract. And then the next contract can be at a startup where they may be trying to build something like a retrofitting to make gasoline cars have the ability to have autonomous driving and everything in between. It could be literally that extreme. But if you understand Scrum, the skill set for Scrum itself, knowing the process is the same. It doesn't matter where you put, whether it's retail, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's distribution, whether it's service industries, whether it's for the government, whether it's human resources, whether it's marketing. It doesn't matter. The process, the Scrum Guide is the same in terms of how we're going to apply it and implement it. That is the same. What our biggest challenge is going to be the different personalities in the environment in which we're trying to implement Scrum. So that variety of work gives you a huge advantage, and also expedites your learning curve. It expedites your learning curve where you expose yourself to that many different environments. I want you to think about the Scrum Master who has been a Scrum Master for 5 years, working for the same company, and have maybe seen 3 or 4 teams in their 5-year career, versus a consultant Scrum Master probably seen in a 5-year duration, you've seen 10 to 20 different Scrum teams in that time. So who would you say would be the better Scrum Master? Well, better may not be the right word. Well, let's say has the broadest range of being able to master Scrum, the broadest range to be a Scrum Master in several different circumstances. I will go with the person who has a variety of work experiences, like the consultant. We don't know what the next contract is going to be, in what domain. I certainly don't care. As long as they pay with Benjamin Franklin, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Consulting exposes you to diverse challenges and environments. One day you might be helping a startup with their first team, and then the next you could be troubleshooting a multinational agile process. This variety not only keeps the work interesting, but it also sharpens your skills faster than in-house roles typically will allow you, because there's not that much change in huge organizations. If you're a good Scrum Master for your team, it's probably unlikely that you leave it anytime soon. Why? Probably because your department manager don't want you to go anywhere because you're making their life super duper easy. But at the same time, you are hurting yourself because you stay in that same position and you're not really expanding your reach, your skill set, and putting yourself in more challenging situations to really validate, do you really got this on lock, or you just happen to be in a good situation? I'm thinking about whatever sports team you like. You know how they like to stack the team where you got like 4 or 5 superstars on the same team? Yeah, you expect to win. If you got Michael Jordan on your team, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant, if you got all these people on your team, you expected to win. But let's go to another team where you have to build it from scratch. You don't have all those superstars on your team. So you may be a superstar where you're at, but I would question, are you really a superstar? Don't know. But I like to challenge myself that way and have challenged myself that way over years. I learned an awful lot, still learning. Transitioning to a consultant role in Scrum and Agile fields can open up a world of opportunities. It's a chance to architect your career on your terms, expand your influence across the industry, and potentially achieve a level of success and satisfaction that goes beyond what in-house roles could ever offer you. For those with a passion for agile methodologies and a drive to lead change, consulting can certainly be a rewarding career path. Just like any other thing, it comes with its risk. And like now, we are in a slow season of Scrum. Scrum is certainly not dead by no stretch of the imagination. It's not dead. It ain't nowhere near death, but it is slow. I learned that early in life about economics, supply and demand. Right. So we have more supply than demand right now. Would that change? I'm sure it will change because all things go through seasons. There's seed time, there's harvest time, and economic cycles. We have seasons for everything. So will it turn around? I am confident that it will. You might be asking yourself, when should I transition from being a direct hire Scrum Master to a consultant? Or you might be saying, I'm already a consultant and I want to know how can I take my mastery to the next level and make millions? I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you're thinking along those lines. I want you to think about the last time you felt limited in your current role. What if consulting could offer you the freedom that you and your family desires? Freedom to go wherever it is you want to go. The freedom to do what it is you want to do on your time. Not worried about money. That's what I want for you. How many of you have thought about consulting but aren't sure where to start? Is that holding you back? What's holding you back? As we close today, insightful 5 ways to give yourself a 100% raise journey with transforming into a Scrum consultant or a Scrumpreneur, as I like to call it. I hope you feel equipped and inspired to take control of your career path. If you found this series transformative and are ready to take your aspirations to the next level, if you're serious, those of you that know me, I'm very, very serious. If you're serious about catapulting your career to levels that you've only dreamed of, you need to have this book. Yeah. That's been sitting there for the last 5 episodes. This book, been working on it for about 5 months now. Across the top, it has Give Yourself a 100% Raise. It is entitled Mastery and Millionaires, Leveraging Scrum Expertise for Wealth. But there's more. A serial Scrum Master's Guide for Agile Success and Financial Freedom. You definitely got to have this book. Because this book is all about consulting. This book is about the first few people that believed in me enough that allowed me to guide them down a journey to millionaire status. We achieved it together. I was on a journey by myself. I was just glad to have somebody along with me, a companion to let's do the journey together. I led, but I also learned a lot from them as we went through this journey. With that said, this book is a mentor. It's a companion that walks you through the principles we discuss for the last 4, almost 5 episodes, because we're not done yet, and so much more. The chapters in this book are the same things that if you was to pay me $25,000 per hour, the stuff that's in this book is exactly what I would tell you step by step, how to start, what do you need to be thinking about as you're going through your journey. Well, I'm not going to say to the end because I don't foresee the end being nowhere near in sight. The chapters in this book are the same things that I would tell you if you was paying me $25,000 an hour consultation fee, but at a fraction of the cost that will transform your approach to mastery and wealth creation in the agile space. It is filled with insights and tactics. The book is designed to propel you from strategy to success. Down below in the description, I have a serial Scrum Master link so that you can get your copy now and start the journey by turning the pages that will turn your career around. Let's make Scrum Mastery pay off in more ways than just one. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you the audio book with commentary for free with your purchase today as my way of appreciating you for your valuable support. For those of you who have watched the Scrum Academy first 3 series, I talk about the Scrum Guide, the Scrum Framework, and the Agile Manifesto. Those are the foundations for everything that we're talking about here today. Not only am I going to read the book to you, I'm going to give you commentary. And in the commentary, I give you a wealth of information that's not in the book. So if you like the commentary when I did the Scrum Guide, the Framework, and the Agile Manifesto, this book is going to be like that, but on steroids. I want to thank you so much for sharing your day with me. And if you enjoyed this series and found value in our conversations, please consider sharing this episode with someone who might also benefit. It might just be the spark they need to start taking control of their own journey towards financial freedom. Your shares make a huge difference and help us reach more Scrum professionals just like you. And of course, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that doggone bell so that you never, ever, ever miss an episode from Scrum Academy. And if you have stories of your transition, of course, I want to hear about it. Questions about today's topics or suggestions for future episodes, I would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you. Reach out to us on social media. Leave us a reply on YouTube. We are there quite frequently. We try our best to reply back to each and every one of you as soon as possible. We are eager to include your experiences and address your queries in any upcoming session. You want to be a guest on the show? Feel free. More than happy to have you here. Join us again at Scrum Academy, where your growth is our mission, where we believe making your Agile and Scrum Mastery pay off. Remember, every step that you've taken with us is a building block for your future. So keep building, keep innovating, keep leading the change where everyone can unleash their superpower like a kindergarten class in the Agile community. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries, keep innovating, keep turning your Scrum expertise into opportunities that just don't meet but exceed your career aspirations. This is Grand Scrum Master Scott signing off from the Mastery Millionaires series. Remember to get the book and more bonuses that I have especially for you at the Serial Scrum Master link that's down in the description below to deepen your understanding and application of the principles that we've been discussing. As always, be agile, do Scrum, and be super duper legendary in all of your endeavors and take those steps towards consulting mastery. See you on the next wave of Scrum excellence with mastery and more millionaires. Be legendary.